Welcome back to the Esther Effect. Today I'm going to be doing something different that I really want to start on this channel called Testimony Tuesday, and I wanted to start by giving my testimony, and I really want you guys to be able to share your testimony as well. I kind of came from really religious background. I didn't really know why I was going to church. I didn't know what I was doing there. I definitely did not have a relationship. I just followed the rules and did what people were telling me to do. That's about it. So I just did what I was supposed to do. And then in 6th grade, we moved from the city out to the country. I actually joined a basketball team. This basketball team, what they did for fun on Thursday nights was actually go to this non-denominational youth group. I was like, well, that's what we do on this team, so I went. There I gave my life to the Lord, and that was in 6th grade. But right around that same time, I actually developed kind of a skewed relationship because I put my whole identity in basketball. I was really good at basketball really easily. I was just naturally good at it. So, but then at that same time, those girls were kind of, some more than others, were just really mean. And I developed kind of, my identity was in basketball, and yet I didn't feel good enough in the sport or worthy enough. I didn't feel worthy enough to shoot the ball. I didn't feel worthy enough to take the ball and do something with it, which is ridiculous. Where does that even come from? Demonic. It's just lies. And we form those lies as if they're true. And so that spawning into the rest of my life, thinking I'm not good enough to be able to have other things in my life. Any other thing, name it, just not good enough for it because my identity was in basketball, therefore no other identity in anything else. And so I knew the idea, I knew that I was supposed to have my identity in the Lord in 6th grade, but it just wasn't a knowing in my heart. Fast forward, I was in youth group in that same youth group all throughout high school. Got into this impure relationship with my boyfriend, and I actually developed kind of a codependency, not really realizing it. My life kind of fed off of him, which is crazy. We have to be independent. We have to be getting all of our life from him, not another person in our relationship. And so there was worthlessness and codependency within that because my whole identity was in that person. And also still within basketball, because I stayed in basketball all throughout for college. I stayed in basketball to hang on to that false identity of gotta be good enough and belong to something. So I stayed in basketball, trying to belong to something and to stay involved and to uphold my identity, right? Which it's never gonna work out. So I got involved in a campus ministry in college. Later, I ended up giving up basketball. I was done. I was really burnt out. So then that was huge. Part of my identity severed. And then part of my identity went back into the Lord, in college when I was in that campus ministry. But I got really legalistic around that time, more impurities. The Lord wanted to get that out. In college was where I was baptized in the Holy Spirit and I started speaking in tongues at that point, and my whole body just got super hot, and I just was filled with the Holy Spirit at that time, and the Lord was just purifying me all along the way. Thought I had to decide if I was going to be Catholic or Christian. It was a lie from the enemy. I had to pick one. That the enemy was just like, pick, you're either Catholic or you're either Christian, and you can't be both. And I was on this journey. Which one do I be? Which one? I have to pick this for like my future marriage, for my kids, so that they're not confused. Like I'm confused right now. Like, Lord, help me. And the Lord spoke to me, and he said, you don't have to pick one. I'm here. I'm in all of it. You're never going to need to pick one. I'm here. Come to know me, and I will give you rest. I think I went through more of like word of faith, and I was just like learning my identity. I went through a big breakup with a person that I dated. It sent me on this journey of like just being with the Lord. I needed to be with the Lord to survive and to live. You can ask my mom. I literally needed the Lord to breathe. I would listen to sermon after sermon. I would only be listening to sermons. That's all I could do to survive. Just growing in the Lord, I was fascinated with the Lord. I was always with the Lord. Like, that's all I could do to survive, to live, to make it through the day. I would be listening to sermons, spending time with the Lord. But it seemed like something, I started growing and learning what it meant to be baptized in the Holy Spirit, to seek the Lord and to be present-centered. And I wanted to go to a ministry school, and the Lord said, no, I was in business, and it wasn't the right time. And then finally the school down here at LCU popped up, and I knew I was supposed to go. One thing that the Lord really spoke to me was Romans 8:15, and you did not receive the spirit of religious duty, leading you back into the fear of never being good enough, but you have received the spirit of full acceptance, enfolding you into the family of God, and you will never feel orphaned. For as he rises up within us, our spirits join him in saying the words of tender affection, beloved Father. And so I just feel so much of my story is getting away from that performance of that I have been made right, that I am pure, that I am holy, and so are you. Just pure, righteous, in right standing. And then being at LCU, getting off the shame and the guilt and the condemnation of past relationships, of past failures. The Lord just took all of that away. And now just living just condemnation free, guilt free. That doesn't mean that you don't mess up, but you've been made right. I want you guys to be able to share your testimonies that you can overcome all these things. The Lord wants it to be overcome in your life, just like in my life and the people that you're gonna see. The Lord is overcoming all of those things in our lives, and he wants to share that. And I feel like this is just a place where we can share that with each other. I want you to go ahead and send your testimony, share your testimony. You can post it on Instagram, or post it on your story, or post it on your wall on Instagram, I don't know, on your feed. And then tag the Esther Effect, hashtag Esther Effect on the post. And then everybody that goes to see your testimony is going to see lots of different testimonies. So there's going to be lots of different testimonies. You can screenshot it and then send it on the latest Testimony Tuesday. And then wherever the Lord leads, I'm going to be able to give like a shout out of your Instagram and of your video, and so that the world can see your testimony, because we need to hear your testimony. We need to hear your story, and the world needs to know. I really hope that you guys are able to grab hold of this, to be able to share, because the world needs to hear your story, and I know it's really going to encourage the rest. So we're a family, and the world needs to hear, and we want to just share a story, share your story, and the Lord is just going to do amazing things. So I hope this encourages you, and I love you, and until next time.